What's up, everybody? We are back at Around the Mat Pod, and it is episode 20, if you can believe it. That is 5 months into this thing. What a time to be alive. You know, it's really a great time to be a wrestling fan. Even better time to be a fan of the pod. If you're watching live on Twitch, thank y'all, man, for checking us out live. If you're watching on YouTube on Friday, hit that like and subscribe button, man. Leave a comment. Tell your friends about it. Tell us what you do and don't like. Argue with us there in the comments. We appreciate it. If you're listening on Spotify or iTunes, leave us a 5-star review or a 1-star review. Let me know how you're feeling about it. And tag us on all the social medias. We are on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at AroundTheMatPod. Super easy to find us. I'm the host at the PJ North. You can find me. I tag everything there too. So if you're having any issues, that's the place to find us. But nonetheless, it is episode 20, and I'm happy to bring back my friends. They are back with us in the bottom left. We call him BigTankk Tank Tancredi. Tank, the postman. What's up, baby?
What's going on?
How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good.
A little burnt.
It's Wednesday. You know what that means. Yeah, I am a little burnt. That it doesn't help, but it's Wednesday, so
I appreciate you. I appreciate you making the time. I really do. In the bottom right, he is the ticket god, Freddie Briscoe. Freddie, fresh. Look, he's got his guns out. My God, look, guy posts one photo on Instagram with his chest out, and he's out here now. All the ladies love him.
Yeah, I might have been a little bit influenced, but yeah, hell of a time. Yeah, glad to be back on the pod. Episode 20. Wow. Man, I didn't know we'd make it past 2, so here we are.
I can't believe I've had enough people to go past 20. I've only had to do one episode by myself, and that was the pre-WrestleMania one, so pretty crazy. But I appreciate y'all being here, man. It's a wild time in pro wrestling right now, as we've all talked about. A lot of stuff to talk about this week especially. A lot of things happen. I feel like they transpire daily. Everything's kind of coming out of the woodwork and stuff. Before we get too far into it, though, I got my Homage WrestleMania X18 shirt with The Rock and Hogan on there. Picked that up at Mania this year. I've been a big Homage guy, right? Obviously coming from Columbus where they're based. So I've had all their wrestling collections, so I thought this was a cool one to bring it out today. I wish I had a WrestleMania 21. That would have been a cooler shirt to fit in. But you do? No, yeah, it's in a box somewhere.
Yeah, well, yeah, if I do, it's not open.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
You can't see. I got WrestleMania 32.
Oh, okay, with the Texas one. Okay, that looks good.
I'm bringing out 2016 merch. You know?
Okay, he's doing it. What about you, Tanky? Are you rocking a wrestling tee or no?
No, I got a baseball tee on.
Oh, God, and it's a Bryce Harper shirt. Gross.
Well, you can say you can make it pretend.
I was going to say it was Harper. Yeah, I was going to say it's an ode to Brody Lee. There
you go.
Amazing. Well, with that being said, it is, as we mentioned, a wild week in professional wrestling, and that means it is time for the headlines. And this week, we're going to kick it off with NXT doesn't believe in Joe Hendry. I don't know. I thought last night was exceptional. If you're watching live on Twitch, it's last night. And I thought it was funny, though, because he got a lip. They gave him a promo. He got the convert. He got the intro. And then they threw him out of the ring first. I have no idea why they would do that. And they also did my only thing about this was they did a poor job making it look like it took a lot of people to throw him over. Because at the end, there was just one guy staring at him after they threw him. I was like, oh, that was kind of a letdown. And Casey thought the same thing. She was laughing on the couch. She was like, wait, why did he get thrown out? So, yeah, I thought it was cool, though, man. Joe Hendry, really, really cool. I saw a lot of stuff on the internet today, obviously, right? The dirt sheets are talking about how they love him and they're going to bring him back and all these things. I did think the promo was cool, though. I thought it was pretty good. So, yeah, I don't know. NXT was wild last night. I do wish they did I saw someone tagged SRS or something because SRS posted about he wished they did a Royal Rumble for NXT, and I thought last night would have been the perfect night to do that, especially if you're going to bring in the TNA people because that's how you bring a surprise to it. But, again, that's just kind of my opinion about it. Tank, what was your thoughts on of course, you're a big Joe Hendry guy.
I am a big Joe Hendry guy. I've been talking about this guy for years. Seems like every guy that's, big nowadays, I was talking about, 2 years ago.
Hey, that's a good thing.
Gable,
look,
talking about Hendry.
That's how it goes.
I thought it was pretty cool. I do think that he's probably going to come back. That was probably the setup for him to come back.
Sure.
I don't know if you guys saw, but they had him do something with Shawn Michaels after after he got eliminated.
I didn't. Was there a social thing?
Yeah, there was a thing he did. He ran backstage and cut a promo on Sean.
Oh, cool.
So I think he'll definitely be back at some point, if not like next
sooner
week.
Than later. Yeah.
I thought it was really cool. I kind of like it because it's like he's the heavy favorite. To me, I like things that make sense.
Sure.
He's the heavy favorite. There's 24 guys that are like, we don't want this guy to win, so they threw him out. To me, it made a lot of sense. I don't see anything wrong with it. Usually I'm a hater of that type of stuff. But I thought it was smart.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. What about you, Freddie Fresh?
Yeah, no, it was cool. I enjoyed it. I thought the presentation that they had for him, they gave him like the full thing. I thought that was really cool. One thing I was a little disappointed about, and this is not regarding Joe Hendry, but Frankie Kazarian, even though he had a great showing in the match, I didn't like that he didn't have an entrance, and he was just because I didn't even realize at first that he was in there.
Yeah, so they did all the entrances on socials afterwards.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I saw. Well, I don't know about all of them, but they did that one specifically. They posted about it today. And I thought that was kind of. I was upset about that too. I tell you the one thing about him though, I thought it was cool the way he got thrown out. I've never seen that over the corner thing.
No, that was ridiculous.
It was like it wasn't really the Flair thing where he goes up and over. He just like straight up like Irish whipped him and he went over the corner, and I was like, that's kind of interesting. I thought that was a cool little spot.
He's very talented. I remember. I thought he was going to be a big guy one day. I remember when he was on Velocity, because, yes, I used to watch Velocity every Saturday night.
Sure.
And he was on there. He had long hair. He would look completely different. He was a kid. I mean, I'm going back 20-something years ago.
Back. And that's the thing. They talked about it last night on NXT. He was like, Kazarian was remember when he was the future of WWE back in the day before leaving? Like, they talked about it last night and I thought that was interesting.
But anyway, the Joe Hendry presentation I enjoyed. Would have been cool if he won? Yeah, of course, but I don't think he's done yet.
My only
I could see him on the Heat Wave card, to be honest.
See, that's my only thing. I don't understand why Javon, what is his last name now? Evans, right? Javon Evans. Yeah. I don't know why he won already. I do like him. He's awesome. He does a lot of cool stuff. I thought the way that he caught that rope and did a rebound lariat was awesome. I thought that was sweet. I was like, damn, I've never seen that before. Or he hit him with a kick. He didn't actually rebound kicked him. I thought that was sick. And I was like, damn, I know he's really good, but I was like, man, we're putting him on top already. That's like,
and that's a baby, which
and that just doesn't work that often.
But I was mad that he won initially because I wanted Ethan Page to win it, right?
Sure. I do like that they're trying to continue Ethan Page with Ora Mensa, but like,
yeah.
You can't if you're not going to put the guy on top right off the bat. And they kind of did, but he lost clean.
Yeah.
What's the? I don't know. You know what I mean? He's just.
Well, I think what we're going to get at Heat Wave is a fatal 4-way. That shot at the end with the four of them belt in the middle.
That's cool.
I think it's going to end up being a fatal 4-way at Heat Wave for the title.
Yeah, and that's coming up in two short weeks. So
yeah, it's crazy.
3 weeks, I guess.
NXT normally doesn't have shows that.
That's a big weekend for them in Toronto, right? They're doing SmackDown, Money in the Bank, and Heatwave. That's awesome. Toronto getting all the love right now. Shout out to Brad Myers. All right. Well, that was a great first segment. Obviously, we're going to talk more about NXT. But up next on the headline train is, if I could read my notes correctly, Hulk Hogan killed WCW. We're going to talk a little bit about WCW and who killed WCW, the documentary last night. Are you guys both caught up? Has everybody watched the third episode?
I've seen majority of it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna start with you, Freddie. What's your thoughts, man, on the episode last night and obviously overall for Who Killed WCW?
No, look. I mean, I thought last night's episode was good. I think all of the episodes have been good. I think anytime with these types of documentaries, you do have to take things with a grain of salt. I listen to Kevin Nash's podcast every week.
You do? Is it good?
I actually really enjoy his podcast. I don't agree with everything that he says, but I just like listening to him.
Who hosts his?
Sean Oliver, the guy that used to do the
used to be another
interviews, the U-Shoot interviews.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. They have a good rapport with each other. It's just it's a fun show. But anyway, he said something about last week's episode about Goldberg, and I can't remember the exact details, but basically he detailed like what he said and what part they put in the show.
Sure.
And they cut out like half of what he said.
Well, like obviously, because it's for TV.
He put him over, and then he says what he said about him, right? Whatever.
Who did he put over?
Goldberg.
Oh, that part of it.
We don't hear that. We don't hear this.
Yeah, because it's for TV, right? And they're obviously going to be like, and you know that going into it, I would think.
Yeah. So I think anyway. The point being, I wouldn't have known that if I didn't listen to Nasty's podcast, right? I mean, but like anything, it's edited, and we know that, but it was just an example. So again, you have to take everything with a grain of salt. We don't really know exactly what everybody said, but my general take is: listen, I think Vince Russo doesn't get a bad rap. I think he
he does it to himself, but yeah,
he did some terrible shit. I mean.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing though. Is like the problem is with Russo is that he takes zero responsibility for this.
Yeah, he takes zero responsibility for it. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like that's my biggest thing. Is I'm like, you want to talk about, bro? I'm booking a TV show, and I'm not knocking him. Don't get me wrong, all the cool shit he did, but like, bro, you went out there and put Judy Bagwell on a pole, bro. Like that's not good. Take responsibility. That's bad TV. That's not good TV. That's bad TV for any.
He doesn't take responsibility for any of and he takes all the responsibility
for the good shit,
for the attitude error.
Exactly, that part's a little frustrating because
like
anybody's going to.
But I don't understand, right? It's like, and so part of me's defending Vince Russo because I don't think he was the ultimate reason why WCW ended.
Not at all. No,
he came in at a bad time and nobody was saving it.
Sure,
right? But with that being said, even though I don't think it was necessarily his fault, how can the same person claim that he created all WWE's success in the late 90s and then within the same year produce what he produced?
Yeah.
Right? Something's not adding up here.
Right.
So I think, do I think he has creative ideas? Yes.
Sure.
But I think he needs the filter like everybody, like Vince McMahon was his filter.
Sure.
WCW, he had no filter.
Right. Tank, what about you, man? Obviously, you weren't alive during WCW. So, no, I mean, in reality, I mean,
luckily for you, Tank.
I mean, one of the things that you guys love to say is that, like, Tony Khan is like, all the inmates run the asylum. That was a case of these guys going into business for themselves, doing what they wanted, and it doesn't work. At least, like, majority of the people in the back at AEW, they respect Tony Khan enough to, he gives them an outline. They do what they do with that, what they will. I always thought that, WCW was the perfect storm in a sense that, like, AEW will never see the amount of talent that WCW had at the time. So that, like, it's a bad comparison, but anyways, I just think, a lot of guys in there did what they wanted, really, and at the end of the day, it killed itself. It shot itself in the foot. And
honestly, I think that's what it is. It's not who killed WCW; it's WCW killed WCW, right? As a fan growing up, watching all that, it's a cataclysm of all of these things combining to mess with what they had. And the biggest thing is, like, when the upper level people are against you, you're fighting an uphill battle that no one wants to fight. And when you pay your top talent, so you've got these executives saying one thing, and then you pay your top talent, and then you tell your top talent that they can have creative control. That's why I said Hogan killed WCW. I've said this before. Anytime he took creative control, that doesn't work for me, brother. He's a part of the 4 worst main events in WCW history. Starrcade 97, and that's that's everybody's fault. But it started, as they said and this is according to the documentary, is that it didn't work for him day of, brother. Okay? So 97. Then you've got Finger Poke of Doom. Then you've got Bash at the Beach. And then you've got obviously his early stuff. Now that's on the swing up, right? But don't get me wrong, he's also a part of the biggest reason that they were winning, and I get that. But you can't be on top forever. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. And so, like I said, I think that it started with Bill Bush. It started with Spiegel or Brad Siegel. It started with all those folks at the top and Turner who just didn't want it. You're fighting an uphill battle. Doesn't matter what you do. Look, dude, the Arquette thing would have made sense if they would have let it run. But then they give the belt over the next week. Russo winning the title, terrible. All of these things combine to be bad, and it's bad TV. They had so much talent at the top and so much talent in the middle. and they let guys walk and all that stuff. And I think that there's just, like I said, it's a cataclysm of things that come together to ruin it. And R.I.P. WCW. But there's still one episode left. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, and I'm sure that'll be the best one.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be really good. So
and it's going to be about a lot of it with the the last Nitro, and they have all that unreleased footage that we kind of saw in the in the preview. I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
I'm pumped. I just think you can't you can't blame one specific, like you said, you can't blame one specific.
Yeah,
person.
I don't really think it's one person killed it.
It's just a matter, and also WCW. If TNT had wanted to, WCW could still be on TV today. I mean, fuck, TNA's lasted 22 years.
Oh, here's the thing: 1,000%. If they don't sell off their stuff,
it only closed because Turner wanted to get rid of it, and they
got rid of the library. It's exactly it, man. What?
So, I mean, they could have still been. TNA should have been dead
years ago.
15 years ago.
Yeah, during that Hogan era, another Hogan killed TNA.
AEW. People are joking about AEW. They're going to go out of business. As long as Turner or they have a TV deal and Tony Khan is willing to, spend his own money.
Yep.
AEW could be around for as long as they want to be. The only reason WCW actually ended is because Turner decided to end them.
I agree. 1,000%.
They killed their own creation.
1,000%. We shall see with the new media deal. All right, last headline, and I thought this was just so funny, is that the Insane Clown Posse hates CM Punk. And I thought that was hilarious. I saw that, and I saw Violent J, or whichever the fat one is, posted on there that they hated CM Punk. He didn't shake their hand at Ring of Honor or wherever it was, TNA, and they've held a grudge about it ever since. And I thought that was so funny to just be like, we'll just talk briefly as ICP in wrestling, man. Fred, do you have any memories of Insane Clown Posse in pro wrestling?
A little bit. I remember a little bit of the stuff that they did with, WWE in the late 90s with the Oddities.
See, the reason I put this in here, I do believe the Oddities theme song is the number one WWE banger on Spotify.
So good.
I bet I listened to it at least twice a week.
You know what's funny about it? I remember because I had WWF The Music Volume 3, right?
Yeah.
And at the time, like when I was 10, I didn't really love that song. I was so obsessed with the DX song and awesome music.
Sure. The top guys, right.
And the rock song.
Yeah.
That Undertaker, that I didn't really like at the time like the Oddities song.
Sure.
Now, as I've gotten older, I think it's one of the best.
When he says I could chew nails and spit out quarters, I was like, all right, let's go.
I mean, SummerSlam '98, it's awesome when they perform it live.
Yeah, I really thought it was cool. Tank, do you have any?
They're crazy as shit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Tank. Have you ever seen any of the ICP in wrestling at all?
So I have listened to the Oddities theme song.
Okay.
That is a banger. But I just thought it was funny. I was like, this dude genuinely hates CM Punk. I was like,
yeah, he was like he said it with his chest. He was like,
he did not hold back.
Yeah,
he just went in. I was like, all right.
I thought it was also the most random time to do it.
Yeah.
Like what? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess he's a big Drew McIntyre fan.
Well, they've been on NWA, so they're on NWA TV right now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
I didn't even know NWA was still doing their thing. I didn't know Power was still on.
Yeah, Corgan. Well, because now he's got now they've got a reality show and everything. I mean, Corgan's.
Wait, that thing happened on CW?
Yeah, it's on CW on the app. It's on every week.
On the app, not on the channel.
Yeah, they don't have it on the channel now.
Because I guess probably because NXT's going.
Yeah. So you can watch it though for free on the CW app. This is not a paid promotion. Would be cool if it was.
Not yet.
But yeah, man, I just thought that was so funny. So I thought we would talk about ICP and their hatred for.
I didn't know that they were involved with NWA. That's interesting.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. All right, well that's our first topic. The headlines always read pretty good. Up next, Clash at the Castle. Gonna give it a grade. Gonna give it a. Your thoughts, your feedback. Obviously, I didn't win the pool, which was absolutely tragic. I thought
who did end up winning it?
Paul and
get the hell out of here.
Yeah, Paul. Not Paul Hauser. Another Paul.
I was gonna say, wait, did he win?
No, another Paul.
Wow,
And there was
Paul
actually, I
Hauser
think, a tie, right? Because McIntyre lost, right? I wish I had the Money in the Bank one. Where's it? I know we chatted about this. Let's see who won the pool. Maybe, I don't know. I forget. Either way, it was a win. It wasn't me. And I was pretty upset about it. But I thought the pay-per-view was good overall. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I thought all the matches were good. I did the tag match, the triple threat tag, really threw me for a loop. I knew that they had 3 Scottish wrestlers in title matches. One of them had to win. So it makes the most sense that the tag team title one did. But they weren't really, it was kind of a toss-up because you really weren't sure who was protected. I kind of felt like Bayley was protected, but I wasn't sure that Priest was protected. I was almost 1,000% sure that Jade and Bianca were protected. So I didn't, wild. But overall, man, what a great pay-per-view again. WWE right now is on just.
Oh, they're on. Also.
Yeah, and we've talked about this, right? It's really
even
great.
Post-Mania is hard. Is it as hard?
No,
it's
hard to be Post-Mania.
I mean, we had the fucking Rock on TV every week for 3 months,
sure.
So, but for Post-Mania and Roman and Rock not being involved, and Drew was hurt for a bit, and Punk has been hurt.
All the stuff that they've done with injuries, they've kept everybody. They've done a great job. The only thing I thought that was, and I thought I'll tell you the way that, and of course social media hyped it up, was the camera shot at the end that it was Punk. I thought that was awesome. I thought they did a great job. And I thought that was the coolest way to do it. And then everybody said now, and I never thought it at the time, but the comparison between Brett and Shawn 97. It is almost like spot for spot in a good way, not in like a bad, this is copying.
Don't be surprised if that wasn't done by design.
That's what I'm saying. It's and I think that is so cool.
Much of a Brett mark.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome, man. Overall, I think that's his favorite wrestler, right? Yeah. Do you think he hates Goldberg as much as Bret Hart?
I don't think anybody hates
Goldberg. Just by proxy.
Maybe as much as Insane Clown Posse hates CM Punk.
That's fair. But I gave it an A overall. Yeah. Like I said, I just thought it was another great pay-per-view. I really enjoyed it thoroughly. Obviously, Cody staying on the track, and then I thought that end was really cool. It's obviously leading to Orton and him at SummerSlam, potentially. So that could be really cool. I think a lot of stuff's happening, man, and it's just... You get that after WrestleMania lull, but they've stayed great on the PLEs, which is awesome. So, Tank, what are your thoughts, man, of the PLE? What were your grade? What do you give it a grade?
I'm gonna keep my my moniker as a hard grader because there were a couple things I didn't like here.
That's okay. That's why we have the pod.
I thought they really did a bad job with the ring. The amount of botches with that.
Yeah, so I do agree. And the funny thing was I wasn't watching. I wasn't standing watching. I was listening and watching and doing other stuff because I was working right at this race. So I wasn't, and so I didn't see the Bianca botch, and I didn't see that either. But I saw the Damien one live as it happened. I was like, oh,
yeah.
I wasn't a fan of that. Chad Gable losing. I mean, it just to me it makes no sense. Why are you gonna have five title shots?
Yeah, now he's dead.
He's he's dead now. You got this guy came back to get shot. I mean, I just don't get why have 5 title matches if you're not going to give this guy the title. It just kind of hurts him. And then on top of that, you have him on Raw get jobbed out to Yawn Strowman.
I got to be honest with you. Signs a deal, takes that L. Unless they're going to completely defeat him and then the Creed brothers build him back up, that's the only way you can do it. Like they have to really destroy him. Like
unless he's winning Money in the Bank, there is no reason he should have lost.
They shot him. He's dead. He can't.
Yeah, he's dead. I can't even say it. Clash at the Castle.
Zombie Gamble or Zombie Gable.
I am curious how they.
See, I think it was. I don't think it was a shot. I think it's just a chair shot to the head or the hammer to the head. It's not actually a gunshot thing. Because they're not. There was no like lead to guns in the thing. I think the joke online, of course, obviously, right? But I don't know. So, what's your overall grade? Obviously, Tank. There's a lot of things you didn't like.
I'm gonna go B+.
What was your favorite match?
Cody and AJ.
Okay, awesome. I love that. All right. Freddie Fresh, what do you got for me?
Yeah, I enjoyed this pay-per-view. I believe I gave Clash a B or B+. I think a B+. But not Clash, King of the Ring.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give Clash of the Castle an A. I thought The opener was great. I love the I Quit with Cody and AJ. I thought they did a really good job. I know some people were upset with the finish. I thought the finish was creative. Like, he's a heel.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
He's like, no, I quit. He didn't want to get hit in the head with the steps. I thought it made sense. So I enjoyed that match. I'm not saying that I'm happy that Jade and Bianca lost the tag titles, but I was very happy with the shock of it.
I thought so too. I thought
I wasn't happy that they lost, but I was happy that Alba and Io won.
What'd you say, Tank?
It made sense. I mean, you kind of want to.
I don't even know why the belts were on them to begin with. I felt like that was a weird reign.
About that either, I
honestly, I think it was just to give Jade a little bit of
give her a rub.
I get that. I would have kept them separate this whole time. I mean, you kind of want to build to them, like build them both up, and then get them to the point where they finally meet. You could do that at the Rumble. You could do that Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Anywhere really, you just want their paths to cross when they're at the peak of their performance.
Sure.
And I just felt like this was kind of like a nothing reign.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see what happens. I think the one good thing is that it does feed them into women's Money in the Bank.
Yes. Like we were speaking about last week, we just felt like, the SmackDown division just really is kind of floundering right now.
Yeah.
And they kind of need those two to be singles.
Right. I mean, Bayley needs two powerhouses. The problem is now you got three baby faces. So one of them's going to have to be heel. It's got to be Jade, obviously, in my opinion. But
I think she's going to turn on Bianca.
Yeah. Okay.
At some point.
Yeah. What was your favorite match, Fred?
My favorite match was the AJ Cody, but I loved the end. I loved the whole match.
Sure.
But I loved the end of the main event.
Yeah, I thought that was really creative, and I thought we talked about
it would happen, but I'm happy it did.
I didn't see it coming that way, and I thought that was a really creative way to do it. I love the backstage. Did you guys see the socials afterwards where Punk asked Jessica Carr, and he's like, "Hey, you got a shirt?" And he's like, "What size is that one? I'll just take that one." She's like, "No, I got another one."
Yeah, that was good.
Classic Punk. I loved it. All right,
I don't know if you saw the press conference. That was great when he brought out the donuts.
Yeah, when he was and he's like, "You could take that fantasy booking shit elsewhere."
Yeah.
Pastry Punk is on another level.
Bro, snack Punk. Anytime Punk is snacking, man, him and MJF snacking, that that they're going to say some shit. Yeah. I loved it. I thought it was good.
Good stuff.
All right, well, Clash at the Castle. We're leading into the next one, man. Can't wait to see what happens next. PPV top tier Raw on Monday. I believe so, man. Raw was really, really good. And I was dead from the weekend. I was luckily I started it super late, so I could just fast forward through the commercials and try to get it done. But just an absolute top tier Raw to a certain extent. Again, 3 hours is still long, so there's always going to be. It's hard to go 3 hours where it's all good. But otherwise, I thought it was. I really, really enjoyed a lot of it. Poor Carlito. The only part that was bad, man. We got to kill off the LWO. It's got to end. It is an absolute channel changing moment every time they're on TV. When Carlito does the thing with Dom and them, it's really funny. The hotel key thing from last was hilarious. Carlito by himself. Why is he wrestling in a t-shirt and pants, bro? What are we doing? I
don't like that.
It is so bad.
I don't know if it's got to do with him trying to be in the Judgment Day and he's trying to change his look. I don't know. I really have no.
Yeah, I do. I hate it very much. But overall, Raw I thought was good. Jey Uso winning was cool. Him dancing. Let's just get into the main point, right? Wyatt Six debuts in a really just absolutely really crazy moment. I don't know that I've seen that on Raw
in wrestling history.
From a debut perspective, I don't know that they've ever done something quite that elaborate for this long. The story arc of them has been incredibly long, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I thought, and I'm going to use a Miguel term, which is so funny, is that the hokey thing was, I just don't think Bo Dallas is a leader. I don't think he has it. He mistimed the blowing out of the candle. He didn't mouth the parts because they're not using his voice, obviously. He missed that. His walk when they came to him, he almost tripped. I don't know if you saw that. When he's walking, the camera's following him. I don't know, man. I don't think he has that factor to lead. But I thought overall, creatively, it was really cool, really well done. And I'm excited about that part. And you know me, I'm not a big character like fictional character thing. That's not my thing where it's like so far off base, but I thought it was really, really cool overall. Tank, what about you, man?
I thought it was really good. The only thing is, I'm just like, I just don't know if this group of people can get to where
it is honestly it's sink or swim for all of them.
It really is,
right?
And it's like,
except for Joe Gacy. I mean, this is only his first chance at it.
I just don't know. Like, I mean, if it's a love letter to Bray Wyatt and they do it right, it could be really good. But if it's not, I mean, think about it. When they brought Bray back last year and they had him do stuff with this Uncle Howdy character,
they even killed Uncle Howdy. We were at Royal Rumble where they murdered him, right?
Yeah.
Right,
so like,
Fred?
it was like, I just don't know. Like you said, I just don't know if Bo has it in him. I mean, I remember if you think back a couple years when they had Bo do that thing where
the Bo Leave or the B team thing.
No, it was when Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt were the tag champs.
Oh, the deleters
they were
of the
like
world.
making fun of them.
Yeah,
he did a really good Bray impression.
Yeah,
it was really good. Like, it was spot on. They were like marking out in the ring.
Is that where it was him and Hennig?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, it could be good. I don't know just yet that it will be, but if they do it right, it could be the perfect storm. It could be good for all of these guys.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope they lean on Nikki Cross because I think she's the best of all of them, to be honest.
And they're still saying Bliss might be in it, so
yeah, which would be a huge help to them too. I think they need another star because right now
I would have even thrown Braun in there.
Yeah, like I don't see why they didn't bring it, but he's like the weirdest babyface of all time too, man.
Yeah,
with that hair, he's terrible.
He's terrible.
Yeah, I'm not a big Braun guy. Super nice guy. Not a big fan. Freddie Fresh, obviously you love creepy characters. That's kind of the game. I mean, you love that character part of it, right? So, what's your thoughts on overarching? What was your thought on the debut? And all
I'll be honest. Going into it, I was kind of like, I was excited. Like the QR codes were cool, but like I wasn't watching all the QR codes. I wasn't trying to figure things out like when Bray did it, and simply because I was just like, okay, it'll be cool, but like Bray's not in it, right? That was kind of my philosophy going into it. Like, and then they did Monday, and they had me from the second that fucking music hit.
Yeah.
And for the full 5 minutes, my eyes were glued to the TV. So they got the job done. I was very impressed with it. We will see where it goes. I hate to say it, but I kind of, I feel bad saying that about Bo, but I understand what you're saying, and I'm curious.
It makes sense, right? It's just like I just don't know if he
just has really big shoes.
We got to understand.
Yeah,
Bray,
that's the other thing. Big shoes to fill is a good.
Bray had something that most don't.
I agree.
Let alone his brother. He just had, they say the it factor, but he had that times 1,000. Like
that man cared about his character.
Yeah,
and
agreed.
Even when he wasn't in character, if you would listen to like interviews he did, right? Like just regular out of character.
He just has a lot of charisma as a person.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
And I think Bo. I mean, let's not forget they strapped the Rocket and NXT to Bo.
Oh, the whole Bo Leave thing.
Wasn't he the third NXT champion?
Yeah, and that's like when they were getting the TV deal. All the stuff like was happening for them.
He was the champion
after Big E.
Like right, yeah.
He beat Big E.
When they did that Arrival. I don't know if he won the title at Arrival. The first NXT.
Yeah, in the ladder match, right?
He won it there, right? I'm pretty sure.
Now, I have
but
to
anyway,
look it back up. Didn't type it in your Google machine.
Yeah, in the Google machine. But I'm happy for him. I'm happy for the Rotunda family. I think it's cool that they're honoring his legacy. Like Tank said, if it's a love story to Bray, I think it has the potential to be good. Will it be like having Bray? No. But it's going to be – I'm glad that they're continuing his legacy and honoring his legacy. And I think the people that are in it are talented. They just haven't had an opportunity to really sink into anything.
Sure.
I think Dexter Lumis has the chance to be, a decent talent. I think Joe Gacy – well,
I think Joe Gacy honestly is the star of the group. If we're, the potential to be
in NXT.
Yeah, like he has the potential to be right.
And Rowan, charisma. And I always enjoyed Rowan in the Wyatt family. He's never going to be the guy.
They brought him back as a as an ode. I mean, they have
but
to,
he's
right?
He's a great,
Great big
Great
man.
big man. Yeah, great big man.
That's a great way to
He's a
put
great
it.
heater.
He's a great
He can get a heater
guy
on
to have there in the group.
Right.
He'll never be the guy, but he's good to have in the group. So
Loomis is there to take the pins, right? Nikki's there for the female aspect. I do hope that Bliss is a part of it.
Nikki's actually my favorite part.
I hope that her gimmick is Sister Abigail, though, at this point. I mean, we've drawn this thing out for now 7 years or 8 years.
You could even play it up as she's the leader.
I think so. I think she's great too. I think she has the potential as she has a lot of charisma as well, and she hasn't really had a chance to shine.
No.
Right? They put her in like the cornballs gimmicks of all time. So,
they were doing some cool stuff with her when Triple H first took over, where she was in the background. Remember? Like,
yep.
And then that never went anywhere. But anyway, but I'm happy for her. I think this will be good for her. I hope. And so I mean, at least the debut was one of the coolest things they've ever done. So.
I think so too, man. I'm really excited about it.
The only thing I can compare this to, as far as the debut, is like, well, I mean, obviously it was very reminiscent of the Bray return at Extreme Rules, which I was fortunate enough to be there for.
Sure.
In Philly. It was very reminiscent of that. But that notwithstanding, the only other thing, completely different, but the only thing I can compare it to where you're like, holy shit, what is friggin' happening, is the NXT, the Nexus debut.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty cool.
Because that was just like 7 minutes of like, what is going on right now?
Them running roughshod over everybody, right?
Right. It's completely different, thing, but the sense of being glued to your TV and not knowing what the hell's happening.
Sidebar on that, while you mentioned the Nexus thing, is one thing we didn't talk about Clash of the Castle. Wade Barrett calming Drew McIntyre down. What do you think happens with that? You think that's a little what do we? And then Wade Barrett, of course, going ape shit on the post conference or the panel that they talk, like the after show panel or whatever. Him just going ape shit on CM Punk, saying what do we think? I mean, Barrett can't wrestle anymore, right? Is that the deal? I don't know if he can or not.
I don't know if he can. I mean,
I think he can. I think he can.
Wasn't he wrestling in NWA before he came back?
No, he was just doing he was like working in ICW and some other stuff overseas in the UK. I don't know either. I'm very interested to see what happens with that. Oh, we lost Fred. I don't know. Either way, Fred may have had to take a call. We're going to give him a second here. If you're watching, I'll take this out of post. Let me go to the next topic though. Before we get there, let's see. I'll give him another.
What's your favorite?
This is my favorite. All of them are my favorite, honestly. But I just like talking about it. Everything's my favorite. There he is. He's back. Everything okay? You good?
Yeah, I had him take my call.
I know. I saw you good. Everything good?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, all those things, Raw was banging. It is now time for the Randomizer, where I pick a random topic out of my bag and we chop it up a little bit. And this week is a fun one. I thought we've all been to a lot of events and a lot of cool wrestling things. And I thought, what is your favorite live wrestling event that you've ever been to, right? We've all been to several, a lot. Fred's been to like 206,000.
I give you the exact count.
Yeah, so favorite live event. Freddie, I'm going to kick it off with you, man, because you have a detailed list of every event he's been to. It's pretty cool. So, Freddie, what's your favorite one you've ever been to?
God. Man, you're asking me one of the hardest questions. It's been 204 to be exact.
204. I was close.
You were close. God. So I'm going to try and narrow it down. I'll give you a couple that are very special. Survivor Series 02 to me is very special because that's the first pay-per-view I ever went to live.
That's Chamber, right?
This is Chamber, yeah. And Shawn Michaels being in it. I mean, I was nuts, right?
Yeah.
So that to me is always
at the Garden, right?
20, of course. Also at the Garden, yes. Yep. First WrestleMania 20.
Wait, WrestleMania 20 was your first? Yeah. WrestleMania? Okay.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then I didn't go again until 28, and now I've been
right now. You've been all of them, yeah.
28, but God, One Night Stand is
that's what I honestly thought you were going to say was One Night
even
Stand.
Even though I can't lie and be like, oh yeah, I was an ECW guy and it was awesome. To be honest, going into that One Night Stand, I didn't really have a great deal of knowledge. I've gained more knowledge now in the 19 years since that show happened.
Obviously, right? Yeah.
But even in 05, like I knew more than I did.
Sure.
But I still didn't have a great
Yeah, but you understood when you were into that. When you got to the atmosphere, you were like, "Oh shit!"
Well, let me tell you, I dug in after One Night Stand. If anything, One Night Stand made me become a huge ECW guy.
That's cool,
right? But so as far as atmosphere, I will say this: as far as atmosphere, One Night Stand is my favorite show.
Okay.
As far as history and everything like that, I'm gonna go with WrestleMania 20.
Okay.
Because it was such a big deal for me as a sophomore going to a WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It seemed unbelievable,
That's pretty cool. All right, Big Tanky. What about you, buddy?
So, me and Mario one day, back in 2021, we hear this rumor that, CM Punk's coming back. So, me and him start talking. He's like, dude, should we just get tickets to All Out? And I was like, you know what? I mean, if he's not there, we get to go to All Out. If he's there, we get to see CM Punk. I mean, that was my first AEW pay-per-view that I ever went to.
Yeah.
And nothing has... I mean, there's been things that have come close. Revolution with Sting's retirement, that was a blast. I mean, I've been to the last 3 All Outs, so those were great. But yeah, nothing on top.
The first one. Everybody always remembers their first.
To me, it's the perfect pay-per-view. I mean, you had Punk Darby, you had the cage match, Bucks Lucha Bros.
Yep. Banger. What a heater that was.
I don't think Cody was on the card. Cody was still there, but I don't think he was on the card. What else was on there? Omega Christian.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Everybody thought it was going to be Hangman, and it was Christian, and everybody was like kind of hating on it. And,
yeah, because we were all like, "Oh."
For what the end of that pay per view led to with Cole and Danielson coming out,
that's cool.
It as much as I wanted to be there for Hangman and Kenny, I mean that. I didn't expect either of those guys coming through there that night.
Yeah.
And then, Punk and Darby killed it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
The only stinker on that show that I'll always remember was QT Marshall versus Paul White. And I was the only man in that crowd that was chanting Tall Paul at the top of my lungs.
What a chant to have. Tall Paul. Amazing. Okay. All right, those are good ones, man. I'm going to say WrestleMania 38. I'd never been to a WrestleMania. I've been talking about it my whole life, trying to go to one. I'd only been at that time to like maybe 2 other pay-per-views. I went to Double or Nothing. You
were there with me.
I went to the first Double or Nothing.
Oh,
yeah. I went to the very first one where Jericho won the title.
And All Out.
Yep. Oh, was it All Out? No, that's
22.
That was Double or Nothing, right?
No, you went. With
yeah, well, that was
we
did
22.
go to All Out. No, but I was at the Double or Nothing where Jericho won.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
That was a good one. But no, yeah, man, WrestleMania 38. Cody returning, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs like I'm going ape.
That was
shit.
amazing. That's one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
That's when I started liking Mania again. I mean, the last. I mean, I can't really blame the other 2 because they were like COVID ones.
Sure.
38 was like. It was really good. And then, I went to 40 this year, and I'd never been to a Mania. I had a great time.
Yeah, 40's a really good one.
40 was awesome, man, and I was electric too. And that was going to be my next one because we've been going. But 38, man, that first time because I'd never been to a Mania, right? And you talk about it forever, and you want to go, and to finally make it happen, that was a big one for me. Dallas was a lot of fun too. I enjoyed that. We got to do all of the events. So yeah, man, big WrestleMania. All right, it's that time again, and you call yourself a fan. And we're back. It is trivia time, and you call yourself a fan, where we go through 90s wrestling trivia. We are it's quite elaborate 90s and 80s WWF trivia. 1 point per question. Again, I have not read the questions or the answers yet, so here's to hoping. And it starts off with this. At the 1995 King of the Ring, the Intercontinental Champion was Jeff Jarrett, Razor Ramon, or Dean Douglas. And I'll start with you, Freddie.
I'm going to go with Razor Ramon.
Okay. Yeah, because we're... Okay, go ahead, BigTankk.
I'm going to say Dean Douglas.
I'm going to say Razor Ramon because SummerSlam, him and Shawn Michaels.
That's exactly why I said it. Because I was going to say...
We're all incorrect. He wins it there because it's Jeff Jarrett.
It is. So Jeff was going to be my first because Jeff beat Razor for it at the Rumble.
Oh,
year.
yeah. So, of course, yeah, we should have known.
But I didn't know if he held it all the way from January to June. And I knew that by August, at least, Razor was involved.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm kind of curious. I want to go back.
I know. I got stumped on that one. All right. At the 1994 Royal Rumble, the Quebecers faced Men on a Mission, Head Shrinkers, Owen and Brett. BigTankk.
Yeah. What was the first one again?
Men on a Mission. Mabel and his teammate. I forget who it was.
I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that one.
Men on a Mission. All right. I'm gonna go with Owen and Brett. Freddie.
Yeah, Owen and Brett.
It is Owen and Brett because that's where they break up.
Yeah.
That's okay, Tanky. You had a chance at it.
They had their full.
What's the other guy's name on Men on a Mission? Why am I blanking right now? It's Mabel, Mo, and Oscar. Mo. Yeah, Oscar doesn't wrestle. He's the rapper.
Yeah, but he's part of.
He is part of
Men
on a Mission.
Yeah.
All right. At the 1991 Royal Rumble, Ted DiBiase's partner was Jake Roberts, Virgil, or IRS.
Wait, at the what year?
1991 Royal Rumble.
And it was...
Ted DiBiase's partner was Jake Roberts, Virgil, or IRS. I don't know if he breaks up with him yet. Have they broke up yet? I guess I'll go Virgil. Freddie?
I'm going with Virgil.
I'm going IRS.
It is Virgil.
Because I'm pretty sure...
They weren't Money Incorporated yet. That's why I didn't say that.
That's like 92, 93. But yeah. I'm pretty sure that 7 is when DiBiase...
Oh, that is when DiBiase faces Virgil, right?
Which is 91, yeah.
Yeah, okay. At the 1988 SummerSlam, Bad News Brown's opponent was... Freddie? There is no multiple choice.
I think Big Boss Man.
All right. Tank?
You go Coco Beware.
That's a good guess. I'm also gonna go Coco Beware because I actually think that's what it is. We are all wrong. Is Ken Patera?
I wasn't going with Ken Patera. I didn't even know Ken Patera was on the.
I didn't even think it was still there at 88. All right. What? This is a really good one. What is the name of the Ultimate Warriors training facility? Tank, we got to start with you.
Oh man,
I don't have any idea.
The ultimate training facility. I don't know.
Go ahead.
I got no clue.
Yeah, I guess it's my turn. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna say Warrior Planet. Go ahead, Freddie.
Is this like that college shit he was doing?
I don't know. It just says Ultimate Warriors Training Facility.
I'm going to say UWF.
It is Warrior University. Is that what UWF was?
That's Warrior University is right.
You did say the university thing. I'm going to give you a point for that one.
That's what I was believing they were talking about. Yeah, when he came back in 96, he was like apparently like starting his university. But
God, him and Donald Trump had so much in common. That's incredible. Holy shoot. All right. Okay. That's a good one. Trivia time. Always fun. And we didn't get a lot of points on that one. We weren't hitting on all cylinders. But this is the end all. It is One Has to Go, where I go through 4 topics, 4 people, 4 wrestlers, 4 time periods, 4 belts, 4 of something. They are the best of the best, and one ceases to exist. And this one is for the creeps at home. Creepiest gimmicks. One has to go. Wrestling's creepiest gimmicks. In the top left, you've got Kane. In the top right, Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family, or The Fiend, just Bray Wyatt in general. Bottom left is Mankind. And in the bottom right, of course, is Undertaker. So 4 of the creepiest of all time to do it. And one has to go. Big Tank, I'm going to start with you.
This is rough.
I worked really hard on this one.
I hate to say it, but I guess it's got to be Bray, right? I mean, the other guys have, like, legacies. I mean, yes, WWE might not be where it is without those 3. I mean, those guys kind of carried the 90s, and, I just, Bray really hit his stride with The Fiend. I think the Wyatt family. I mean,
it's all of it. It could be all. I mean, it's Bray's as a whole career, because it was hard to just like The Fiend wasn't around long enough, and Wyatt family wasn't around long enough to be the whole thing. So I combined the 2.
Yeah. So I mean, I loved The Fiend. I thought it was great. I mean, they butchered that shit with Goldberg. I mean, you go back to Who Killed WCW. I mean, Goldberg was killing stuff in 2019, 2020, like that whole time period. He killed Kevin Owens, he killed Bray Wyatt. It was not great.
Too bad he didn't kill Roman.
But yeah, sadly I got to go with Bray Wyatt. I just don't see the WWE hitting its absolute stride in the 90s without all 3 of those guys.
Sure. Okay. All right, Freddie Fresh, man. You got to get rid of one, man. Let me show you again.
Obviously know which one I'm not going with.
Well, I mean, obviously that's why I kind of. It was hard to. So I'll tell you, it was hard to pick 3 others. It was between the Kane and the Bray. Those 2 were really. There's a lot of other creepy ones that they've done that didn't pan out long term, right? So I was going to do Gangrel, because that was like super. His entire run was creepy, but he wasn't there long enough. Right. The Brood just wasn't there long enough. The Boogeyman, super creepy, and somehow he's managed to stay, but he's never relevant. A lot of stuff like that. There's been a lot of creepy ones. Gene Snitsky, but he didn't last.
Top guys being creepy.
Yeah.
Papa Shango just didn't last. That was only 3 or 2 years, so it's like it was really
and the
hard.
thing with these guys is those, yes, they're creepy, but
these are all legacy names.
They're hokey.
They still make exactly.
These guys were creepy, but like stars and like top guys. You know what I mean? They weren't just regular like hokey attractions.
Exactly.
Anyway, I hate to say it too, but I'm gonna agree with Tank. I just think process of elimination, legacy, things like that. I love Bray, and I think Bray was amazingly talented, but I just can't choose, keeping him over Mankind and Kane, let alone Undertaker. But I have to pick Bray. It has nothing to do with how I feel about him. But unfortunately, longevity,
Okay.
Right.
I'm actually going to get rid of Kane. I don't have a single. There are 2 moments that I remember about Kane. Obviously, Bad Blood, right? When he comes back, or when he debuts. Cool. That was awesome. None of his other stuff did it for me. Ever. I don't. Obviously, now he's kind of a trash human being. Politically, it's just super weird. The way that he comments on things is super strange, and he's also the mayor of a town in the state, which is crazy. But yeah, man, I'm getting rid of Kane. I don't have really that many moments that I remember that I couldn't have lived without him. So I'm getting rid of Kane. I love the Wyatt family. I thought Bray's Wyatt family, and I've talked about this, right? I don't care about the Fiend. I thought the Fiend sucked because I thought it was dumb. I just didn't really get it. I didn't like the red lights. I didn't like a lot of stuff they were doing, but he was, as a character, I remember a lot of stuff that he did, right? And I don't think you could do a lot of that without him. But the Wyatt family I thought was awesome. They transcended from NXT into the main roster. Remember when they had Bryan Danielson? I thought that was so sick. I thought that was like a cool thing. So there's a lot of stuff with that. Obviously, Taker and Mankind. Wrestling really doesn't move forward without either one of those 2. Those guys were innovators on both sides. So I'm gonna get rid of Kane. Like I said, he doesn't really do it for me.
You're telling me you don't remember Kane and Undertaker at bragging rights?
I most definitely do not remember.
It was terrible.
Very live match.
Very live match in 2010.
Honestly, the only thing Kane I remember is the initial feud with Undertaker, right? Him debuting, them wrestling at Mania, and that's it. And then, like, don't get me wrong, I remember him, obviously. There's a lot of moments, but I just don't, it was fine. When he took his mask off, it didn't make a huge difference. You know what I'm saying?
I like Kane and Shane.
The what?
Kane and Shane.
Oh, I liked Kane and X-Pac.
That was good, too.
Yeah, that was a good
Kane
one.
and RVD.
Yeah, Kane was a great tag team wrestler, huh? What does that say about him? We could do without him. That's what it says. He's the Jannetty of Kane and X-Pac. He's the Jannetty.
Team Hell No.
That was also good.
Yeah, but he wasn't. He was just weird then at the mask. And then he put the mask back on. I was like, what are you, Rey Mysterio? You don't have to put your mask back on. Crazy. Well, unfortunately, Freddie hath won today's challenge. So, Fred, let's hear your best promo, man.
Let me talk to you. No.
What are you excited for?
I'm excited for a lot, man. We got Money in the Bank coming up in a little over 2 weeks, just coming off the heels of Clash at the Castle. Of course, I'm obviously excited for SummerSlam, but we got time for that still. I think, with everything that happened on Raw and everything that happened at Clash, it's going to set us up for the next couple of months of going into SummerSlam. So a lot of fun stuff. I think SmackDown's going to be really good on Friday. I'm looking forward to Punk being there in Chicago. That's always a scene. So, a lot to look forward to. The summer, the summer's going to be hot in WWE for sure. So I'm looking forward to it all.
It's going to be a big one, man.
And we got some returns coming before you know it.
That's the big thing, right? Got a lot.
I
can't believe we didn't talk about Seth Rollins returning at all.
Oh yeah, I was shocked.
That's how good Raw was. We didn't even talk about it.
I meant to say that. The one thing I liked about Raw this week was it had a beginning, a middle, and an end. It was
that's exactly what it. That's a great way to put it.
You had Seth come back,
which was unbelievable. I didn't expect that at all.
And then you had the Wyatt Six. It was put together very well.
Really good. Too bad they can't do that on SmackDown, right?
Yeah,
they probably could have used some people back on SmackDown right now.
Man,
because Cody's running roughshod over everybody. The Bloodline's great, but outside of that, you know what I'm saying? They could have used something like that going on.
I can't even tell you the last time I watched SmackDown.
I'm enjoying the stuff they're doing with LA Knight and Logan Paul.
I think so too. It's great on the socials.
That on social media.
It's short, and it's great on social media. It's chewable for that. It's a good ad. Obviously, a lot of things are going to happen on SmackDown coming up, but
it looks like we're going to get Cody and Solo, which should be fun. And then I think that'll lead to the Roman return. And
someone said, I saw on the internet that they thought that Roman's going to cost Seth at Money in the Bank, and he's going to return and pay all his favors back that are owed. I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh shit, that would be cool.
You know what I mean? He starts with Seth, then he handles Solo.
Yeah.
Then he handles Cody or something you don't know, but he's going to hand all of it back. He's going to hand everything he's owed back to these guys. So it'd be pretty crazy.
He's coming back as a babyface, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah.
Well, he has to. They've been piping the music in there, baby.
Uh-huh.
We want Roman. They've been piping that in. Some guy said they did a cheer. They did a group cheer with all production team, and then they just pipe it in over the loudspeaker. Someone wants Roman back. It ain't me, but someone does. All right, man. Well, thank you guys for joining us again. This is Around the Mat. I am your host, PJ North. In the bottom right, Freddie Fresh. In the bottom left, BigTankk. Thank you guys for joining us again this week. Next week, join us because we're talking all things AEW as they go into Forbidden Door next Sunday, 2 Sundays from now. We can't wait to talk about it. So join us again next week as we go Around the Mat.